Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to do page 104 and 105. I'm going to do page 104 as notes. And then I'm going to set up page 105, and I'm going to get you to do the work. Okay, so let's get down to it. So here we are on page 104. Now, up until now, we've had the equation and we've been making the parabola. So now we're going to reverse that. So here we have a parabola. So we are going to determine the equation of that parabola. Now, since we've got it drawn out and we can quite plainly see the vertex, we're going to use vertex form. And we remember vertex form is y equals a x minus p squared plus q. And we remember a is the stretch factor, for lack of a better word. P is the vertex x, and Q is the vertex y. So let's have a look over here. I can quite plainly see there's my vertex, and I can see that it's -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and up 1, 2. So that is my vertex. So now we just plug that into the equation. Y equals a x minus 5 squared plus 2. Now minus 5, of course, we write it as x plus 5 squared plus 2. And then we check. When I go over 1 to -4, right there, go over 1, I go down to here. And that looks like 1 to me. So over 1, down 1, this becomes -1. We don't write 1, so it becomes negative. And that's the answer, because we followed the regular pattern, over 1, down 1. So let's have a look here. I can quite plainly see there's my vertex. My vertex equals 1. And 1, 2, 3, 4. -4. So I plug that into the equation. Y equals a x minus 1 squared minus 4. Because it's plus q. Sorry. We'll write it like the formula. Plus minus 4. And then we would write it properly. Y equals a x minus 1 squared plus -4 is minus 4. And then we just fill it in again. We check. If I go over 1, I go up, 2, right? So over 1 and up 2 means A must be +2. All right, I'm going to take a second and let you look at those. Think about it for a sec, whilst I indeed take a sip of coffee. All right, let's get back to it. So now here you will notice I do not have a graph anymore, but I have a vertex. Excuse me. So let's fill that in. Y equals a x minus -3 squared plus 6. Let's rewrite it nice and tidy. Y equals a x plus 3 squared plus 6. Now, it looks like we're done, but we don't know a. How can we find a? We don't have a graph. We have no idea. But we do have a y and an x. And what do you see right here? Isn't that an x and isn't that a y? So can't I take those values and put them in for x and put them in for y. Let's do that. So now I have 1 equals a negative 1 plus 3 squared plus 6. And then all I do is solve for a doing regular algebra. Of course, I've got to remember BEDMAS. A bunch of you will distribute that a, but that's not right. You have to do BEDMAS, which starts with the brackets. Remember here, BEDMAS. Start with this. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2. There's my bracket. Exponent, 2 squared. Exponent is 4 plus 6. A times 4 plus 6. So right now I have 1 equals 4a plus 6. And then I just solve for a. Minus 6 minus 6. Negative 5 equals 4a. A equals negative 5 fourths. And now there's a. I was missing an a. So my final answer is y equals negative 5 fourths x plus 3 squared plus 6. All right, now nothing new here. You already knew vertex form. You already know that x and y, there's an x and y. You know that from grade 10, making lines. And you know how to do algebra. So let's check this one. Again, I have my vertex. Y equals a. And I'm going to shorten this up now. I know negative 3 is going to become x plus 3 because of this. Minus 5. So now I'm still missing a. But I still have a y and an x. Wait a minute, Myers. We only have a y. Really? A y-intercept is always 0, 2. So there's an x and a y. So then all I do is sub it in. 2 equals a 0 plus 3 squared minus 5. 2 equals 9. 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 squared is 9. 3 squared is 9. 9a minus 5. Plus 5 on both sides. 7 equals 9a. Divide both sides by 9. A equals 7 ninths. Now there's a. So I just write out my proper answer. Y equals 7 ninths. X plus 3 squared minus 5. Final answer. Final answer. Now, this one. I have my vertex again, so I know it's y equals a x minus 5 squared and minus 9. Now, you could keep going the way we're going, but you don't have to. But in order to keep this simple, today I'm going to do the same way. I have 2 points here. That guy, x's intercept is 2, 2, 0. That guy, x-intercept is 8, 8, 0. Now I have 2 points. Remember, they have an x and they have a y. Put them in the equation. It doesn't matter which one you use. I'm going to use 8, 0. Why not? 0 equals a. 8 minus 5 squared minus 9. 0 equals 8 minus 5 is 3. 3 squared is 9a minus 9. 9 equals 9a. A equals 1. And since a is 1, we never write that down. So our final answer is y equals x minus 5 squared minus 9. Alrighty, and there's our final. Now, I'm going to set up page 105, and you're going to do the work. Now, there's a typo in F. Something there is wrong. I'm going to tell you what it is before we get going. It has a minimum value of 8 at x equals 5. So here's my graph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my x equals 5. Its minimum value is 8. So 8 is up there, right? Well, if it's a minimum value, it must go this way, right? But then how could it go through the origin, which is right there? This is a typo. This needs to say maximum, which will make my parabola do this. This is the parabola that I'm working with in reality. So since it goes downwards, I know that a must be a negative value. Other than that, we set it up normally. Now, if there's a maximum of 8 when x is 5, what is that point right there? Well, we know x is 5, and since it's maximum, that's a range value. That must be y. 5, 8. So now you know the vertex equals 5, 8. So now you should be able to solve it. And that's what I'm going to get you to do today. You'll see the right answers. I'll post them tomorrow during the meet, or instead of doing the meet, because, you know, no one's going to come to my meeting. This one. So I have that. Write out what you know. I know there's an x, there's a y. Has an axis of symmetry. An axis of symmetry. That is the vertex x value. And a range of y is less than 4. Which means, since it's less than 4, that is a maximum value. So it has to go down like that. Which means a is negative. And it's that's my vertex x. That's my vertex y. So now you know the vertex equals -8, 4, and you have an x and a y to work with. Oh, the origin here, you also have an x and a y here, 0, 0. And this last one, you should be able to figure it out. So the y-intercept, there is my x and y right there, x, y. Maximum value, since it's a maximum value, we know it's that kind of parabola. I'm not going to remind you what that is. And there is my vertex, which equals the x value of -1 and the y value of -3. And then you will sort that out. All right. See some of you tomorrow. Stay together, stay healthy, stay strong.